Michael Nagy here with Jiggy Jag TV and DiscoveringBands.com. And for everyone watching, if you can share this video on my channel and help support the awesome bands I feature. And today I'm here with the Fifth Fire. How you doing today?
Great. Thanks for having us. Me.
Yeah. It's really good to have you. Now, you want to start off and tell us about the band name? What's that mean? It's a cool band name you have.
Oh, thank you. It's kind of a dual meaning, and we kind of use it for whatever purpose serves it at the time. The original meaning was to have all five senses on fire simultaneously, like being completely alert, tapping into a larger percentage of your brain, things like that. Kind of the movie Limitless with Bradley Cooper about a decade ago. And the other one is based on a tribe of natives in Anishinaabe who, the Fifth Fire, they actually had a prophecy of 7 fires. And the Fifth Fire represented the arrival of the Antichrist and the choice between good and evil amongst their tribe for the future of their fate, so to speak.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Now, you want to give us some history about the band, how the band started?
We started about in 2010 in Derby, Kansas. We were kind of just like an indie pop project to start off with. It was very minimalistic style music. And we kind of just wanted to respond to what was going on around us. Didn't see a lot of that. Wanted to really kind of showcase lyrical content, so forth, and things like that, and bring some influences then that weren't really kind of as represented in our immediate environment. And then it just kind of evolved from there, and we changed members and things like that. And I'm a big fan of David Bowie, so we've always tried to reinvent ourselves.
Now, starting off in a small town in Kansas like that, how'd you get the word out about the band?
We had a pretty good social circle that kind of helped us with that initially. Everybody was, everybody was pretty ambitious and pretty motivated. So, we were just kind of we just wanted to kind of own our chops locally before we started anything else. And then we found Reverb Nation, and that really helped things out for us a lot. That's really probably been our key social media site.
Awesome. Yeah, that's pretty neat that you originated out there, because I used to live in McPherson, Kansas for like 5 years. So
I saw the tag, and I saw it was KS, but then you said Eastern time on start time, so I wasn't sure if you lived out east and used to live in Kansas or...
I'm originally from the East Coast, moved out there for like 5 years, and now I'm back on the East Coast. But yeah, I know Derby, Kansas.
Yeah, we played McPherson late in 2018, so cool little town. I think it was on the list of like the nicest town, it was ranked like the nicest town in Kansas at one point. So
yeah, it's a nice town.
Yeah.
Now, your music, what are you currently working on?
Well, we're building our 4th album, which will be an LP. We've gone EP, LP, EP, LP. So we've been working on that, mostly acoustic stuff since the pandemic. We moved out here. We were kind of like, in another rebuilding phase and finding some new people, putting some new things in place. And then that hit and certainly shook things up for us quite a bit. So we've been focusing on acoustic stuff. As a matter of fact, we have an acoustic performance coming up this Friday here in Vegas at the Fusion Grill.
Awesome, and that's an actual live performance, right?
Yeah, that'll be in person. There's they've started to kind of gradually open back up here. 50% capacity, things like that. But gradually, we're getting some more, I guess, like a solo singer-songwriter based performances going. I don't know if the full bands are, quite back up yet, but kind of starting off with that.
That's awesome. And when would you maybe roughly expect the album to be released?
Yeah, it's impossible to say right now. There's so many components that need to come into play to make that a reality. Right now, I'd say about 75% of the songs are written, but it's just going to be putting things into place and putting them together. Right now, they're very stripped down and just a kind of acoustic pieces and some keyboard pieces. But I would say if pressed, I want to shoot for 2022.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Gives you a lot of time to figure everything out.
Yeah, this is going to be a more ambitious record for us. It's going to be our 2nd full-length record, which is always quite an undertaking, to say the least, because there's so much material to work with and, making it cohesive and telling it in a narrative form and things like that, and what we want our vision to kind of accompany with that. So, and we really want to, take our time with this one and not rush it, because it kind of feels like, especially when you're a young band, you're really eager to just get your stuff out there. And so you kind of maybe rush in some areas that you should probably, utilize a little bit more, finesse and things like that.
And do you have an idea, maybe kind of the themes that you might associate with the album?
Yeah, this one's about, I guess I could say the title. It's going to be called Dancing Sad. I remember I was having a conversation with a fellow musician a couple years ago, and she said, well, where do you guys want to go next? And I said, I really want to make sad music that you can dance to. And so from that kernel kind of sprung this idea, because I really got into like post-punk and new wave and bands like Joy Division and The Cure for a period of time, to where I was just indulging in it like, full time. And there was something that struck me about that, because society, I think, is kind of at a place to where there's a certain amount of gloom and stuff. We're trying to kind of shake off, the treathers of what we've undergone, and kind of saying, yeah, not everything's great, but we can still kind of dance through it, and have a good time.
Yeah, you got a lot of different elements, different genres in your music. How would you classify yourself, your music?
Oh, it's difficult. I always just say alternative, because I feel like alternative is just such a broad genre that it encompasses a lot of different things. So I would just say alternative. There's definitely elements of punk and pop and rock. I think you're going to see some more electronic elements come out of us on this record, but I also think you're going to see some stripped down kind of almost folk based, or we're moving out to Vegas. Our climate in the desert has definitely shaped our sound, and that you have the juxtaposition of the city, to the desert aspect. And I think kind of combining those two things, the glam with kind of the, the solidness, or maybe even the isolation, so forth, and things like that. So bringing those components together and kind of creating something hopefully wholly original out of that.
Awesome. Now, if people want to find you online, look you up, get your music on social media, how do they do that?
Foremost, ReverbNation.com/FifthFire. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook. If you just quick search for our name, all those things will come up. Instagram. Let's see here, Spotify, iTunes, things like that. We're on all those sites. Especially, we encourage people to use Spotify and iTunes, because that's kind of like selling a record for us. Even if it's an individual song or so, because that really helps us out financially to continue to do what we do, and make the best music that we can.
Cool. And I want to ask, how has the band handled the whole lockdown quarantine time?
Man, it's pretty well. Like I said, we had to kind of move to acoustic and start doing stuff, kind of stripped down, and it's just been kind of a touch or go thing. There's times, I'll be honest, and we kind of, I say to myself, like, what do you really long for in the future? What do you really hope for? Because I think every band's dream is to play in front of lots of people and go on long tours and, do, kind of the traditional band thing. And it's like, well, travel is certainly compromised at this point, and playing live is certainly compromised at this point. So it's been like, you got to take a breath and say, how do you dare to dream anymore? But there's definitely, if there's a way in, there's a way out, and this thing can be overcome, and and I even think that in some ways that, like, it may work to our advantage in the long run. I think things that you see work against you initially often work to your advantage in the long run. So we've been handling it the best we can, just writing and trying to be creative, and it gives you an opportunity to really focus on your songs.
And now that you're doing acoustic stuff now, is that going to maybe influence the new record? Do you think you'll have an acoustic track on there, or some stuff like that? Or
I think that acoustic tracks will definitely have a place on there. I don't know if that's the direction we want to go fully. I think that was just kind of the impetus for the songs, to create them, So I don't know if that will be the case, but I think we're certainly open to it. And honestly, it could be something of a necessity, because, we may not have time to convert these songs, or if we do, it could delay the release of the record by some. So it's really kind of up in the air as far as that goes right now. I would certainly be open to it, because I'm a big fan of acoustic and that form of expression. I think it's very pure.
Definitely. Now, if we end up getting locked down again and you can't perform, would you be doing any of the virtual shows?
I'm sorry?
if we happen to get locked down again and you're not able to perform right now, even acoustically, would you be doing any of the virtual kind of shows that some artists do?
Oh yes, absolutely. We've done 4 live streams now up to this point since last May. Yeah, so and we definitely it was, I would say we embraced it, but it was strange at first. But I also think that it was like, well, it wasn't really, because I mean you've been rehearsing in your own quarters for years, and it's kind of just basically like turning on a camera for that, you know, that activity. And so yeah, we've definitely embraced it, and you know, it was one of those things we didn't know, I think collectively speaking, but that it was going to become something that was so prevalent, and you know, there was something that we could have done all along. And so yeah, we just did one for Halloween, kind of a Halloween themed thing. You can find that on our Facebook page, and if you know me, my personal Facebook page. And we're going to do another one in December. So we've definitely embraced that. And sometimes I wonder, I think, you know, is it something that bands will continue to do even beyond, you know, when things start to open up a little bit, because it's a new avenue. And the great thing about it, I think, is that some people are parents, or, you know, they may have conditions that it makes it hard for them to go out at night or something like that. And it allows them. There's been so many people that have been like relatives that I have that have been able to watch me perform and watch the band perform that weren't able to, you know, before that. So I definitely, yeah, that's something we've definitely embraced, and I think was kind of a nice little happy accident sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. And it's cost efficient too with touring and stuff, where maybe you can do little tour and little that and combine it both, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it can be for musicians a source of profit too. I mean, you can, you know, you have your virtual tip jars, and you have, you know, you can also sell your merch through means like that, just like you can at a regular show. And the cost of the band, and you know what it's you know, the kind of the bottom line is actually in your favor. So for sure.
Cool. Well, it's good having you and talking with you, and everyone look them up.
Absolutely. Thanks, Michael. Excited, man. We've been on the show for a while. Love what you're doing.
Thank you. Appreciate that.